Hello everyone to the second part of long-form Tonpuusen by ChunmanTV, where I will be playing around 400, not Hansons, 4 Tonpuusen in a single video. I will be editing out downtime but in between, but you will have about 1 hour of content. That's the early Riichi on the right. We have 9 months Suchi, but we can't really trust Suchi here, but Nijman is still the best style here, besides the Kombucha, of course. The 8-man shouldn't deal in. Can we actually push a bit? We can push slightly, but not too hard. Are we trusting this 6? I guess it's half Suchi. It's now a double console here with a Suchi trapped here on the Chorizo, and I think we're taking the console 5 here, and it's the same amount of tiles, and we're waiting on a 5 pin which hasn't been pushed yet, so it should be pretty good. We unfortunately missed a 2-sided weight here, but it's now Nakasuchi our weight, which is pretty good for Riichi 1 Tora for 3900 plus the Riichi sticks. The 5 pins should be pretty good still. There aren't that many Suchis. And Toyman and Kamicha don't have it. They might have drawn it by now, but they haven't pushed it here against the early Riichi. So it should still be okay here. The 1 and the 9 just got pushed against me, and there's a run here from the 6 down. 39 plus 2 pawn, not 2 pawn 6, 2 Riichi 6. Oh, plus 1 Riichi stick to be really honest, because we put in 1000 ourselves. We have a very strong hand here with the double east and 2 Toras here, and we have 4 pairs. Pawn. We can pawn everything technically. The 4 pin pawn, we will pawn the 4 pin as well here, but it's like not the best pawn. The 3 on the 3 is way better, but if we don't have enough block, we can just pawn out of 4 pin, no problem, because turning the 2 for 4 5 pin into 2 shapes is kinda hard. It's kinda hard, so I don't mind the pawn on the 4 pin. Even here, like, but the 3 pin G is so much better, of course, but pawn. And we are going to cut 2 pin here for the float of 5 pin and the 8-man here. And we are E-something here. We can see 36 pin. We kinda lose out on the 3 pin and then for the 2-sided weight there, but it's okay. We have now a 5-6 here for a potential final pair G. And we are waiting here for 3 Toras, double east 3 Toras on the 6 and the 5. So we still have a bit of upgrades. The 3 only really the only upgrades. Unfortunately no Totoi, but it's still pretty solid here. So Shimakiri, we are not going to Suchi trap on the 9, there's just no need. The right 1 Scott into 1 man should be Tempai here on the right as well. I don't know what they're waiting on. There's a 9, so I can 1-4, so seems actually pretty okay, but I don't think they're waiting on the 6, so I don't know if I should put them on a toy tail on the right, and then it's actually scary, but here we run for 12,000 points. It's actually, it's not enough food, but it's enough harm for the Mangan. Double East 3 Torrents. Having our Toyman who just dealt in the 6 sun. We have the highest R, and the R really, like, you kinda know, like, I don't want to say that I'm smurfing here. I can easily have above 2000 R if I play a little bit more on this account. but being higher than Toyman says a lot though. We are cutting the Dora right here though, and we can actually go for Tempai, but we really don't need to, but hopefully it doesn't get pawned or Ron. Ron is always there's always a chance of it just getting Ron, of course. Golek feels it's pretty bad because here is a Teresa and the person on the right usually doesn't call it, so it's probably wrong leg then. See, and unfortunately we are out of the here, but it's 4-7, so and I don't know why Simos is feeding Toyman to Tempai there and giving them the Akatora, but Rishimo 500 each plus 200 each, shutting down Toyman. It still is one, so I still want some points. I think we really don't need, we didn't need to win, but like as long as we can win, we will just win the hand. Especially because Toyman got the AK fat and they will certainly Tempeh across. No doubt about that. It's not like the low level room where they are still no 10. That's not the case, surely not. Even in Tonpuusen, sometimes they are just no 10 for some reason, or just they have random calls. But I don't put people on no 10 here, especially not the 6 star. Even if it's low all, just getting to 6 star is quite an achievement, and then it's like one step away from Ho, and then like saying in Ho is another story, of course, but I kind of wanted to see that. I kind of want to look into Dora Pill, but I can't. I can't. It's a very wide weight here on the monster. It's 1-4 and the 3 for the head. And then we have the 6, 7, 8, 9 here on the bamboos. And then the 6, 9 is our final weight. It's perfectly fine, and it gets tricky here. At least we have the 6 here, and the 3 is sushi. But perhaps like pawn 7p. Of course, pawn 7p. But like here we are out of the K. But I think we can just push, and I don't mind the Tamaten here. We don't need to win here. Like we only win on the full because it's Ipeko Tonrao and we run here. It's kind of weak from my side, but like I think in East only, I think Dampton is fine there. Just to like not take that much risk, we can still slide in the Dora with the 8-man cut. Well, it's not really a slide, but we can accept it. That is what I mean with it. And there's just almost no point in winning more if not necessary. In Hansan, I would definitely chase the Riichi here across, and then Kamitsa on the left, but he wouldn't deal into me because then the 4-man is double Musuchi. I did discard the 6-man though, but it's still double Musuchi, and you should really be careful about double Musuchi, even if it's like a 3-pin and a 7-pin in the ponds, and you want to push a 5-pin, you really should be careful about pushing the 5-pin. Although the first 2 discards are 3 and a 7, or like first row, like it's so how do you say that? Like in higher levels, you will just deal in more often than you think. It's definitely a higher deal in rate than you would expect, and we don't have a Sansaku here, or like a 6, 7, 8 perhaps, but not a 2, 3, 4. I like looking in the Dora pair. The 3-pin Shumakiri or the 9-pin would come to mind as well, but there's a 1-pin here, and yeah. That is kind of the reason why we don't really want the 3-pin here. If we connect to the 6, it's perfect here. Well, it could slightly be more better if we do a 7 or an 8, so, but we have a solid hand again. And there's a 5 for the ramen, and it's unfortunately not Sansuku, but Tonrao Tora 2, Tora 3 sounds perfectly fine here. Especially with your scores, skip that. Kamita Riichi or not? Still not Tenpai. Or they might be Tenpai, we don't know that of course, but I do expect Kamita to be first and Toyman and then Shimotsa. But perhaps I'm just mistaken here. Bonde on the left, and the 8-man becomes pretty sus. The 8-man does become pretty sus here, but like if we deal in with the 8-man, it doesn't really matter, you know? It doesn't, but like I do suspect the 8-man. It can be a Sabo or Ramen. I think we are just cutting the 6-man here because it feels pretty safe. Okay, it doesn't. Dealing into Tamten here on the right is like I did think people were Tenpai, but I didn't expect a Pinfu to that Tamten. I didn't deal into Kamita, but I dealt into Shimo instead. Like there was a Naiman there. Like the Naimans were pretty toast, I must say, but it's just so sad to be running for Pinfutura. I guess it's kinda enough for now, but they are still very close to 4. Nice upgrade here, not confirming Tanrao, but moving closer towards Tanrao and Pinfu here. You can just start calling Taos. That is, especially the flow of characters is nice. The Rankan here, it's also alright, but there's another pair, and we can actually 6 so here, and then we can still revert back towards Tundra or something like that, but it allows us to have Tundra confirmed with the Sanskrit chance, and we have to Karakiri this one to hide the block, but it's just unfortunate, another 6-man, because we try to force Tundra here, and there's a backfire as well. The 5 so is a backfire here, but we have still plenty of head possibilities here. Like a 4-7 so 2-3-man or any pins, almost any pin is also just a head. And here we have a 5-6-7 Sunscrew. We definitely try to maximize the value here, and we certainly did. We don't have like 4-5-6 Sunscrew because then we got a 4 so for this save we're just going to see here for Tenpai, and then we have 1 Han or 2 Han depending on if we get a 5 or 8 of characters here, and the 8 has been twice cut already. We could Karakiri the 6, but I don't mind. I don't mind just the Shimakiri. If you need Veru, you can definitely skip this 8-pin for more Veru, for Tampin, Sansaku, or something like that. But we are happy here in first place, and we are just going to Shimakiri, and we are just trying to win the hand, of course. Just tonight the Tilo though repeat, and I don't know if the Tempe or still is something here on the right, but they likely don't have Raku, or I don't see the Raku. It both can be the case with the Torres out. We see more 500, 1000 here. Sounds a good thunder. And we have a very playable hand here. It's actually quite decent. Not that much value, but it's certainly very playable. Like the value here is the 3-4-5 Sansoku or the Dora. But what is likely going to happen is that we are cutting the 9-8 of Pampu and then the 7 of characters, and then try to float around this 4 of dot here, and we are keeping that for sure. We are going to cut 9 into 8 here for double floater. and potentially the Sansuko, but the Sansuko is just a bonus. It's like primarily the card for Pinfu and to hold the safe down. There's a Riichi and there's a dealer Riichi actually, so we are hard falling here. We are not contesting that one bit. If we don't have to, we can just Sashikomi into other players if they Riichi. So we can just try to feed the person on the right. It's Riichi Pinfu. No, nothing else. Uncle here, very nice. We are just calling, not that. I want to say everything except for the the red dragons. Throwing a pair is very nice because now we can actually call everything. Without a pair, still a bit iffy. Tripping one card. I think we're just cutting this. We don't want to be stuck on 6 weak blocks. And there's another Riichi. We are just basically hoping that someone will pass before, basically before they catch up to us, which might be the case. 6 was Nakasuchi. The 2-pin was Sotokawa, but we discarded that. There's a Tora here on the left. Shimo, Riichi, Pinfu, Shimo. They don't really suck at hitting Ura. That is the reason why they are still 6 down and not 7 down. They just can't hit the Ura. Boom. If we want to be defensive, we could keep the honors. And like each one flat, I would keep the honors here, but we are just full attack. We don't really care about the Pharaoh here. So we are just cutting it, and then we will just see what we get here. Looks quite good here for us. The 2-pin is a G, the 8-man. I think I want to skip that. But I think you can also see that if we really want to, and now it's obvious. We can just look in the pair here for triple floater. And this 8-man comes on with this one card. If we connect two powers have been 7, so we are also safe from this one card 8-man comes on. But here we are east on turn, 8-pin also one card. So we really need one more upgrade, and the Anko here is actually one of the best upgrades. It's almost better than throwing Tempai because we have a lot of flexibility here. Its flexibility also means that you are less likely to deal in, because if your shapes are fixed, if you have a Mangam but everything is fixed, you're just going to deal in on every other tile. If you have like a 2-harm which is really flexible, you are dealing the creases by a lot, and you can still win, and you can still play around a more expensive hand. So as you rank up and once you become better, you really want to be having like the 2-harm with tons of flexibility instead of the 3-harm where you just can't influence the rounds, or like you play it like every other person basically. You're basically playing it as every other person, so you can't really show your skill off. The 5-8 is slightly worse with 1-8-man, but it's the 8-man is just better than the 4-7-man in terms of win rate. And we run here Kamita, and we are moving towards East 4 is all last. We have a very broken hand here again. It's actually so broken, but we can just Riichi, we can just press a button if we get Tempai, or we can try to get like Yaku or Kutwei, but it's really not needed. There's no threat here from Toyman. It's a Paimon requirement after we Riichi. And if you play Riichi for a while, you know Paimons almost never happen. And they basically never happen usually, but sometimes they do, and then you're sad. But we have 2 Torahs here. It must be like an Ipat's Torah bullshit. But we can try to feed Chimotsa instead, but if we can just win, we will just win, of course. We are not going to con. Yeah, there's just no reason. There's just zero reason to con. We could hold the 2 pin as safe tower here on the left. But like we have 1 save down, that is really all we need to dodge the Ipats, and then we really don't care after the Ipats. If we deal into 12k, 18k, we are likely still going to end up first. If it's 24k, that's a different story, but yeah, we are just going to Riichi. We are waiting on Kampuchi here on the Tilo, so Torment might deal in on the 3-man. It's actually a legit strategy for Torment to got the 3-man, and they did. It's 8k, and it's definitely a Sashikomi. The chance that I have like more than a Paimon or something, it's so unlikely. So we got the Sashikomi there, and we are going for the second Tonpuusen here. If it takes way too long, I will cut out the part in between, but we will see. I think the time here, the queuing hours are good for Japanese. It is like a weekday though, so it might take a little bit longer. It actually took me longer than expected for my first Tonpuusen game, but if it takes a few more seconds, probably nothing is going to happen, and we will kind of just have an anti-spoiler. That is also why I don't cut out when I do my log analysis or my other videos, I leave that part in for the anti-spoiler as well, because if you know when it ends, if you can see that the video ends within 30 seconds, you know that is the last hand of the game. Well, if you have like the 1 minute or 2 minutes extra buffer, and you don't know how long I will be like setting the next thing up, you might have a little bit more suspense. Depends on, it's not what we want to draw, but we can cut 9 man. We are playing 6 blocks right here. We have 2 Torahs here with this 3-5 pin, and we will try to complete the rest of the hand as fast as possible, and then we can't see it. It's just like we really want to see it, but if we had some thunder, but like we really don't. The next swapping is a C though, and then we will find out where we get our Raku. The 4-pin and 2-pin also shows some speed here on the left though, so it's not like a comfortable fight at all here on the left. But now we have a 5 block stun now, so now we can more comfortably go for sure. The 4-man passing is actually pretty good for us, because now the 1-mans are pretty safe here. The 9-star should be also pretty safe because of the 9-star here on tournaments. There was score lag, but I don't think they are waiting on it that often. They can have an open down, but they got the 2-man here, so I don't suspect that. 8-pin is definitely more suspicious, and I don't think we're going to cut the 8-pin unless we really get a 4-pin and then we get like E-Santen or something. There's the 5-pin, so the 8-pin can pass here as well, so we are doing that here this turn, and then we just have to find how we can win though. Like it's fairly hard. It's probably like it can still be 5-8 man with the late 7-man Teitashi, but probably in the social, and then this still passed, by the way, so we are keeping track of the Shimakiri Teitashi, and that's a north wind upon 5 so, and the 8 so still deals into a consum. It's nah, the consum is there, so the 8 so should be very safe once cuts. It doesn't deal into a consum because of 4 9s. 9 so's, the 4-pin deal One. Like if we can get closer, we obviously push. We do think they have two blocks, so should that doesn't really do much though. Wait, that's Dora. Ooh, that was not the right discard. I just realized that it was Dora slightly too late. Uh, I just didn't let just show it in my head. It was Dora. I saw like 3-4 pins. Oh, it was Suchi here on the left. And I was like, we are two something, right? But it's really not pushable. It's really not. But like, it's yeah, we just have to defend there, and there's a manga. It's not a manga, but it's pretty massive. It's the 5200, or like 1326. But like I would never drop the 36 out there because it's just a double room here most of the time. Because I put Kamita on so we have to Akatora here with a Pinfu hand. Hopefully, Pinfu is still pretty okay here, but it looks worse by the second, to be honest. We are probably cutting the south pair now because it's dead, and then 8 or 9 into 8 so, and then cut the south pair right here, and then you can cut the 7 pin also, and then keep the 7 pin as floater, keeping 2 safe downs. That is also perfectly fine, but we have too many pairs, and we might want to turn the 5 months into a pair. We can just cut 8 into 9 here, because the 7 so is accepted here by the Entotsu shape. Open gun. We have 2 more Torans, but we still need one more good draw here, like a 5 pin, 4 pin, for the for Tonra, or we can just have like Tora. How much is it? 6 Tora 6. It should be wait 3 4 5. Well, it's Tora 5 for the 6 Han. Okay, if after Riichi that is, but still need a little bit here. We really want to pawn that, but like we are better off throwing it out. We are better off throwing it out, but the 4-7 so is pretty dead. But we still have 2 7 pins here, and 1-4 and 1-7 so I guess. But it's just like that we just the upgrades here on the 1-3 are so emotional, and the monster doesn't have any acceptance here. Just the last 7s. So it's basically we need a 3 pin or the 7 pin and both of them. Someone is getting wrong for way too much here, and it's going to be ultra stupid, and hopefully it's not going to be me. The 2 mom, it's pretty safe. I should have just 2 months. The 4 so is Kabe, but it's actually so bad. This is 2 so 1 2 7 man run, and it's a Torah. Oh my god, I can't count the Torah, but that is why you don't open Khan, and the primary reason to not open Khan. They did have the Torah from their own, but like you have to really make sure that you win when you can, because otherwise you're just dealing in for way too much, and you're not going to be happy. It's E something. I think we're cutting. Nah, we have to cut a 1 into 3 pin here because it's one scout. Like there's no discussion here really. We can keep the 3 pin around, but the upgrade overlap in the social is kind of bad. But we don't need to upgrade here. We are only keeping the 6-8 for the Sanskutans. So it was the choice between 130 so or the 130 pin, and then. And the decision is easy when there's one Scott. It's better to just cut the tile that is one Scott or the shape that is one Scott rather than trying to read the hand or read the pond, because it's 4 versus 3 in in like when you don't read, and it might be like 2 versus 2 when you can read, but you are never sure on your reads. But can we fold here? Can we fold? Yeah, we just want to fold out, but we don't have that much though. We don't have that much. 7 so passed. 16. We don't want to push this east. And there's the 6 man from Kamina, which is pretty weird. It's actually very awkward, but it's probably Honitsu then. But who really wants Honitsu here in Tonpuusen? Like, not me. Like, I just want any hand. I just want any hand that is fast. 7 so. The top wall is pushed here by Toyman, but we already knew that they will. We are on the push heavy side. What now? 8 man? 8 man is pretty good. 12 looks also pretty good. Ron, yeah, what 12k? Well, yeah, it's just like the tournament push the double east here. It's just like friendly. I did put them. I didn't necessarily put them on the double east, but I did suspect some Honitsu, especially of the 6 man cut. The 5 man was a bit like, how do you cut a 5 man from that? And then I knew that they were just going for value instead of efficiency. And then it's time to vote. When you see that someone is going for value and not efficiency, you just have to get out, and you don't have to take any chances on the 5% tempai or something, or like lower percent. You just want to get out. We just want to be out as quickly as possible. And we are basically here now second by doing absolutely nothing. And that is also kind of Tonpuusen. That's a ramen tea. It's a very strong tea though. Like, I don't think they are tempai, because if they should have just skipped if they were tempai here. Like, I think they should have skipped if they would be tempai. But you never know how people how much people really want to win the hand though. But like, there's such a strong T to open with. It's so strong with the extra 7 here. You're still trying to fight a bit, but it seems to be just. It seems to be quite hard here. It does. The 6 man pass. So Simons is still pushing. It's just the 8 man, but I think the 6 man should still pass. I do know some shapes where the 6 man would deal into, but there's not much that I can do. We have to push the 1 man here. Other force are just used in here for Riichi, Dora. Okay, 2-6 shifting their places, and we are all kinda comfy here. Comfy here in all last. We don't necessarily need to win the hand, but we have a very winnable hand here, especially with the Pensante roll. With the 3, so we can draw a Tora, which would be very nice. We are just cutting the honors. Also, it's a basic efficiency, and it also prevents our opponents from pairing them up. We are not going for the Sampon if he get like each something. We are just cutting the 4 pin for the float of 4 pin. We are not trying to run on the Sampon, and I think we just cutting the 4 pin here. We still accept the Tora, and then we keep 3 good floaters, 3 so 7 so and the 5. Yeah, we kind of missed our build. We just did miss our build. Sometimes it is what it is. We have like Ichinomi with this 2-man pair, but it is what it is. We can keep the 1-4 so here alive. We want to still connect here, and then still have a pinful hand. If we connect with the 6 man and then draw the Kansan, we still have a pinful hand. The 6-9 is not better, or is it? I think the 1-4 so it's also Kama that, but like we kind of need a 5-pin here. Like if we really want to do anything, we need a 5-pin, and that's a interesting Chi there. It is, and that's a pawn there on the right. I have to evaluate the position. Is it the turn or is it the each? And we don't know actually. I don't know. There's another one, so and it is like a half as weight because the one serves out that. We are just staying Tamaton here because Shimoza has enough here to overtake. They do have enough to overtake. They have a total with the 7-8 card, or with the 6 card with the 9 of pawn. I didn't really expect them. We have an Ipeko here. You have Raku, which is pretty nice. It also might be paired up here on the right because you see it's KP3, so someone has a pair of it. But now we draw Tabotura, so we can actually be first here with 7-7 if Kamiza drops the 2, so we will be first and we will push. There's the Tora here on the right. But like if there's a 2 so and it's 2-6, we kinda knew that the person here on the right had the Tora, but it is what it is. Yeah, for 10 tables playing, let's just check the log. But like if we dealt in, it would be exactly enough, and they have a 5 so there, and I think the 5 so might, and that is an each. But with the 7 into 8 cards with the 9 so pawn, I just knew that they had it. And then the 2 so with the KB off. It's a 5-8, so here on the right. Wait, or not, wait. It's a tune 4-man. The tune is 1 card. They probably should have. Went on out there then. I think the 5-pin here is probably a mistake, and then. Is it? I think I would cut the south pair perhaps there, and then they cut the south pair afterwards anyway, and then like they can't get thunder anymore. It's kind of a disaster. Or like they can still win on the last scene, but they are basically pushing everything into. They don't really know what, and this is interesting here across, and then they have a 5 and 6 so, and then wait on the 5 so. And then they deal in, and it wasn't necessary, or they still needed to be waiting. But the 5 of Pampu just never deals into a Deutsch, I think. I just don't believe it. Like the Suti 3-man, but like the 5 shouldn't deal in, but I'm not sure, like I think I would cut the 5 so there, and then hopefully not draw the 2 so then right after, but I think it's a bit tricky there for sure, but you know when you are the only one having no 10 or being no 10, you are lost. But there is a good chance that first place there will fold out at some point, or tries to deal in instead. So you don't really have to take that into account that there are 3 people waiting, and even if there are 3 people waiting, then there is an extra hands, or like if they think that no one is waiting except for that player, I guess, but then you don't really have to play around the other 2 players. If definitely would have got a 5 so they are also like I know it in hindsight, but with the 6 so cards and then 7 so and do 8 so with the 9 so pawn, like do you think then that they can have a normal hand, or do you think they must have a toy? That is really the question there, and I think the toy on the Versa is just way less likely. And you need to put them on the toy, or you can put them on the tunes, but then they still need some value because Tsunami isn't enough value. They just stopped at 5 pin as well, and then you kinda know that they don't really have that much value. I don't know if it was right for me to take the Ipeco, uh, but it was Raku at least. But like after a longer thought, I knew that the person on the right had two shows, or like someone else. But the Tortoise usually has a pair of triplets, or they are going for that hand. So I did put them on that. On the two shows more often than not, more often than the person here on the left. But in East only, sometimes people make weird calls and then they are not waiting. But in Ola, you can be pretty sure that they are waiting. We are playing really hard mode here. If you want to rank up in Tokujou, don't play Tonpuusen, I would say, because we are facing 2-6 tons again, above 2000 all. And then it's basically top 5% of difficulty. It's basically about top 5% of difficulty here. We have 4 pairs here, 7 pairs, and but we're still pulling, we're always pulling the green. Even at 5, nah, not at 5 pair, perhaps, it depends on how our shapes look like. But even at 5 pairs, like the pawn, the open one hand is just superior than the closed hand for 4800. I think we are also keeping the extra pair here. One open hand is quite nice to have the extra pair here. We can skip that. I don't mind the skip. Like there is some 7 pairs out. If there was no 7 pairs out, instant call. But there is a 7 pairs out, which we will utilize right here. 4 and 2 7 so. And then skip the pawn here. And then the 7 so is Suchi now. And then we have to push out the. I think the 2 pin is actually better. The 3 one is kind of Sotokama, but the 2 pin with a lot of 1 pins, and we just have to smash the button. There is usually not a lot of waiting, especially not with 2 cores. It doesn't look like Tenpai or E-Sonten here on the right even, but you just have to press the button here, and then just hope for the best, basically. 9 pin would be a juicy weight though. It's with the early 7 card, but the 1, 2, 8, 9 and the honors are all just an instant button press, especially when it's fully live. The best roll, I don't know if the Dora is the best roll even. The East, perhaps. Mascot East is perhaps the best weight, but it's the only to the East which you can pull from, you know. The 3-man would have won here. I was thinking about the 3-man Sotokara, but it's close to the outside is usually just way better. And even if we don't win, and we are the only one at only to Tenpai, then we gain points as well, so that is fine as well. There's the chase here on the left. At least we are blocking the 2-pin teal in because we are waiting on the 2-pin, but it feels very iffy here for us right now. I really hope that we are pushing out our opponents. Yeah, but they just pushed Tora as well. They just didn't care. They just pushed everything here. And that's Tempe on the right for Benson 3, and it was Garbate or was 36, so he on the right. So Tournament had a lot of 2 pins. The only person who didn't discard the 1 pin basically. Or they were in the dead wall, but we will never find out because I won't be checking the log. And you don't have access to Tokujou logs. So you just have to trust me on that. Or like trust me that Toyman had 2 pins, or they were under that wall. Or like you know that for sure because Kami-chan and Shimocha didn't have metal. We are going to pawn here, by the way, even for Atosuke. We are going to pawn here to try to collect the Riichi sticks. No, not that one. And we are keeping the 6 pin for higher thunder chances. Door acceptance doesn't really matter. 7 pin is perfect, 5 pin is perfect as well. And here we can actually skip we can definitely skip that, and we are not going to wait on the 1 cut 7, or we are not going to cut 2, 3 for thunder as well. Even if it was 3 tiles left, we can just Riichi. Well, we can be headless here, perfectly fine here. We don't really want to go here, we just want to Riichi. It's right enough, it's certainly right enough to stay closed. But if there's a second goal here on the left, we will really have to consider calling. Even if it doesn't look like Tempai right here, we have to call basically. Because we have to beat Tempai and then we also have to win. So it's like a 2-step process. It's not like Tempai is the final destination. We also need to win, and unfortunately we don't have the 4-7 pin here, or the 4 pin pair. This is really unfortunate that Torment fed the last 7 months, because he will choke this entire shape for them. And what does Kamicha have? It shouldn't be J16 though. It should be Sosu there, and I think 7-1 is the best style here. But I think we have to push. And I think we can still stay hidden, because the 6 is very safe, and the 3 is also very safe. And there's almost no point in pressing the Riichi button here. It was 360 on the left. It could be 2-5 as well, so we took a risk there on the 2, so for sure. I also against the person on the right, but I don't think there was that much else to do. We could press the Riichi button, but like the winning points don't really matter that much. Getting the sticks is like all that really matters. We are Tempai here for Riichi 3 Torrents, and it should be quite an easy win here on the terminal. Okay, it might not be an easy win here on the terminal tile. Still, our weight is A tier. It's top tier, but hopefully we are not getting wrecked here, which can happen, of course. We're drawing another safe tile here. Well, like the 9-1 was safe, the 2 pin was not safe, or like the tile that we just drawn, and it was a 5-8 for painful. Small hand, but stealing my Riichi stick. Really unfortunate there that they had equally as fast of a hand. They were actually waiting on this 5-man, so like if we were 1 turn later, we would just straight up deal in with this 5-man. It would be really tragic to not Sakikiri the 5-man turn 1, but it is what it is. Then we just have to say it happens, and then just move on with your day. You're probably cutting a 2, so here for the close triplet instead, because you're still headless. And we can, if we cut 1 Tuso, and then we can cut another Tuso if we need Tuso as a pair. But let's see what we get. I think we are cutting the 2 here. Gives us the most flexibility here. I like 8-9 here. I like 8-9 very much, but it's not that efficient. But hopefully no backfire. It worked out kinda, but it's mostly that we can't pair up the 8-9 one as well. for Tempai. We might have each here. The 6-9 pin will be a very good final weight, or we can Riichi on the 7. So we only have one Tora, but we could have drawn the 6 pin for extra Tora. And the Kamitra probably doesn't have the 7 star acceptance here. They will probably cheat because they are score deck. For pin double Mushijis Tempai here on the left. Almost for certain, but there aren't that many Sujis in my pawns, so but I do put them on Tempai with this 2-4 pin card, and the 7 should flow out very easily on the left. He wants to add a team pair, and they decide to fold on it. Card off. I hope they wait on the 2-5 so here on the left, because we have all the 2 shows, and it looks Kampuche against us, and it is, but like the 2 show won't come out safe against the person on the left. The person on the right is still fighting here with Go. Our weight is now Suchi, but Kamita doesn't have the 7, so there's a 17. Ooh, I don't know if they folded there on the left, and it is a Tamaton. Very weird though. I would probably just have say still like they did push, but like I was like, yeah, it's just Tempai. It's just like why didn't do Riichi? Like the all is high enough that I saw the push for sure, but like the awkward thing here is that Tournament doesn't have enough, and even can drop to last, and that is kind of the reason why I would reach it. The win is quite big in Tonpuusen, but it's not that big. Or like I think like if someone Mangan runs them or like something terrible happens, then they are really sad that they couldn't just Riichi on the Ichimo Pinfu Tora there on that hand. I know it's more Tama heavy, but I don't think that was good Tonpuusen play. We are moving towards like pairs. I think we cutting 6 here. Slightly for defense. Also setting up a Suji trap. Both sides, the 3 and the 9. And now we are E something, and we have a lone Tora right here. The Ipeco looks weak, but it's good enough. If we get the Sananko, or like the Sananko chance, we will definitely like that more, I think. Here Chito is something, but we have to toss the Tora for that. Or like we can get full Chito is something, but I think we can balance everything out. We don't need the extra value. The one pin is twice cut for the Cheetos, so it looks kinda mediocre. Because if we get Cheetos E something, okay, we can just 2 pin here, and then we have a good shape here in the social. For our final shape, 7 cell pass through, but a lot of other good draws here. The 6 cell is kinda awkward. There's the 1 cell. We have to fight here because we are basically 1v1 here against last place here, or like they are now last. The 5-8 man is too fast, but I don't think we have a choice though. Like it's just very fast. It deals into the Tora console as well. Like it's just like that we are E something here, and we can't really one so like it's too slow, and you can just gun here, and then we have one more Tora, and we can Riichi here. We have 2 something. We should keep the honors and the terminal towers here to replace the 3 so pair. We can actually go for Santa. We have a Mangan with a Santa Tora with a gun here. Wait, Santa Tora. Wait, it's not Mangan. It's not Mangan. I almost thought it was Mangan, but it's not. It's just 3 Han that we need, and Santa Tora is not 3 Han. And we can Riichi Tora instead. And for the potential Mangan. Hopefully person on the left doesn't get fed to tempeh. Torman really likes feeding. We're just going to Sumakiri because we can one pin slide here, and then we can technically open for the Chanta, but for now we are not. The Naiman looks very good. He has final weight. No, there's a last Naiman. There's a last Naiman. So we have a Penson weight here. It's only 6. It's only the 6, unfortunately, and it's now kinda Nakasuchi. It kinda is Nakasuchi, but it's not fully Nakasuchi. But it's good enough, or like it's Ichiban Tora, but it's so sad that the last 9 months just came out as well. Because it would be our perfect Tao here to win on. Tournament is still fighting very hard, it's not ideal. 9 so, and do the sumo, and we are lost. Because we just tried to stick over. That is it for me today. If you like the long form Tonpuusen, just let me know below in the comments, or like the video, and I will do more of those sessions. I will see you later.